Stephen A. Smith of ESPN was on First Take, and he said, all right, if you're Baker Mayfield, you got a tight end, you got Hooper, you got a right tackle, you got a fullback in play. Clearly, with Stefanski as the new coach coming over from Minnesota, he likes multiple tight end sets, plus having a slew of running backs to lean on as well. I look at it as the Cleveland Browns have had a pretty good offseason offensively. Defensively, there's a different argument for another day, but right now, offensively, in terms of helping out Baker Mayfield, I think they did a plus. What do you think about what Stephen A. Smith had to say on that one? And by the way, the Cleveland Browns are always a low-hanging fruit that these guys can pick on. But what do you think about the optimism he showed?
Well, I think he's exactly right when he brings up the fact that basically they have done everything possible to support Baker Mayfield this offseason. Now, some of the moves that they've made are designed to help Kevin Stefanski with the kind of systems and schemes that he wants to run. But they're also in place to help Baker Mayfield be as successful as he possibly can be this year, giving him a right tackle, giving him a new tight end, providing him with a backup quarterback that can be a mentor, help implement the offense. So they keep adding pieces to help Baker be successful, and he needs to be successful this year because it's a decision-making season in the offseason.
No question. Well, you can see the recap of the offseason. You see in the bottom right, Evan Brown is the guy they just signed. I assume that's as a backup center, right, Mary-Kay?
Right, backup center to JC.
All right, let's take a look at that list. See, just as you go through it, tell me something that pops into your head when you look at the list. Let's start with Austin Hooper.
When I start with Austin Hooper, the thing that comes to my mind is two tight end set that Kevin Stefanski wants to run, and it doesn't mean that David Njoku is not in good standing anymore. On the contrary, with Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski here, new life has been breathed into David Njoku. So those guys will form the two tight end sets, but they also like Steven Carlson, so don't count him out.
All right, let's go to the backup quarterback they just signed in case-keenum, who looks like a guy or sounds like a guy if needed. I mean, he'll play the mentor role, I guess, if he has to, but he really thinks that he can play if needed. What do you think?
Oh, he is so confident in his ability, and some of the things that stood out to me during his conference call with us yesterday were the fact that he really believes that he can be a winning starting quarterback in the NFL. He talked about coming to Cleveland because he thought that this was an attractive job, an attractive backup job. He didn't want to go be behind a Tom Brady or a Phillip Rivers. Right. So what that says to me is that he thinks that this gives him an opportunity to play at some point.
I like when he was talking about Baker Mayfield. He said, well, if he needs to tie his shoe or have some Gatorade, it's okay. I think what the translation is, well, if he gets hurt, don't worry, I can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that he can go out there and win games, especially under Kevin Stefanski, because in 2017, he took the Vikings to an 11-3 record and to the NFC Championship game with Kevin Stefanski as his quarterbacks coach. He's confident in the system. He knows exactly what needs to be done in this particular system. And I still think that he believes he's got a lot left in the tank.
Andy-Janovic, what do you think of there?
Well, once again, nobody loves the fullback anymore, but Kevin Stefanski does. And they got their guy. All of these guys are really good guys, good leaders, good locker room guys, great personalities. They are starting to fit a profile. I think you're starting to see that these guys are going for high character guys that love the game of football. They're going to be team players. They're going to be leaders in their respective rooms and on the team. And I think Andy fits the bill.
Let's skip down a little bit. We'll go to Jack-Conklin, who I think is a major acquisition. What do you think?
I think that he was probably the number one target for them in this free agency period. They went out, they got him, and that's what they wanted to do. And I think it speaks a lot for this current regime that they were able to land the best right tackle in free agency and the best tight end in free agency. They had to throw money in it, but they got their guy.